The most decorated football club in Asia is interested in one of the ring-fenced youngsters at Manchester United. Meanwhile, there could be a swap deal involving Marcus Rashford and Ugarte. Welcome to the United Hotspot. My name is Webb. Like, share, subscribe. New updates this morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you are, which part of the world you're in. It is almost coming to evening where I am best coming through to you now, but it doesn't matter, guys. The update is always ready and ripe to be severed. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get into it now. There is a news source in Qatar, an outlet called Al Qas TV Sport, that via X has said that Al Hilal, the team that signed Neymar Jr., the team that has Kalidou Koulibaly, the same team had they signed Malcolm. They have several young players, Mitrovic as well, Ruben Neves. This same club is apparently interested in including Alejandro Garnacho and one other youngster from a top league in their on their roster in the next summer that opens on the 17th of next month. Now, this is because there is a window for two under 23 players that they can sign from foreign leagues, and they are saying they are considering going for the jugular, going for the big names, and Manchester United's Alejandro Garnacho is being mentioned. Now, this is, first of all, like I said, the source is credible, it's decent. Of course, these are internal talks. It's not like a bid was put in place, but they are suggesting that this Al Hilal team feels like Garnacho is a player they can lure away from Manchester United, despite him being ring fenced by Ineos when they came in and tried to put things right at Manchester United. Now, first of all, this is what I think. The amount we are talking about, again, these are baby reports that are coming, but from a credible source. This source has, as you can see, over 1.5 million followers, not by mistake. But they are saying that they're putting together about 51 million pounds. Now, I think for me, that's disrespect of the highest order. We are talking of a Garnacho, a 19-year-old kid just turning 20, who is one of the most promising youngsters in global football. He just signed a long contract extension with Manchester United in April 2023. You don't just come out and say 51 million is an audacious bid. I think it's a respectable bid for them to think that that can even shake Manchester United in a way. We are not that broke, I believe. But the thing is, looking at the bigger picture, first of all, this is a club that has got the capacity to lure a young player from South America like him, because this is a nearly 20-year-old kid who has idolized players like Neymar, because Neymar is currently unregistered with them because of injury, but he's still their player. Now, he can be convinced to join because he just want the idea of playing with Neymar. But that is if the fee is right. For the player, on the player's side, I think for me, I cannot rule out the possibility of a South American player wanting to join Al Hilal or moving for money. I cannot, because there are so many of them who are playing in Saudi Arabia and Qatar. But also, if Al Hilal, whereas Garnacho is a loved player, untouchable is one of the few, one for the future. I think if Al Hilal table a crazy bid, which I believe they can, because 51 million pounds is not crazy. But if, for example, they tabled 150 or 200 million pounds for Manchester United, I think Ineos should be going, well, we could listen, because I think for me, whereas we know the ring fence players want to build the club around the Hoylands, the Brunos, the Garnacho himself. I think for me, the only one player at Manchester United that we cannot touch for whichever offer, unless a team is paying £1 billion, is Kobe Maino. For me, that's the only completely untouchable player for whichever amount. Garnacho is good and is important, but if someone offers us, say, 200 million, 300 million pounds, these are clubs in Saudi, they can pay this money. We sell him. He can go there for 1 year, one season, then come back. He's still young, make a lot of money, more money than he needs, then he comes back to another club in Europe. But he's not completely untouchable. For me, he missed only two, I think, Premier League games last season, scoring 7 goals and assisting, I think, about 4 times. But the thing is, if Al Hilal are really interested, this is a club that has won the Saudi Pro League the most number of times, I think 19 times. They are a big club in Asia. They could actually shake him, but if they need to move Manchester United, because Man United needs money, and I've been saying this, that Manchester United has got to a point where they have got to make a sacrifice. And in this summer or the next, when it comes to players sold, United must be willing to sacrifice. There must be a sacrifice made if we are going to get the cash for us to reorganize this squad. Now, if that sacrifice has got to be Garnacho, if it is the right fee, I have no issues. If it is 200, 150 million plus pounds going on, we listen. We listen because he's not Kobe. Kobe is the only player for whom there is no offer that should move us. But Garnacho, honestly, he's not unbelievably different and special. That's my honest take. But of course, these are just reports coming through. But you don't refute them completely because I mean, in the transfer window, anything can happen. And these Saudi clubs have become audacious. They have realized that people are not bashing their league because they sign players who are aging and players just come to make money. If they don't like it, they move. But also the fact that N'Golo Kante has played in the Saudi Pro League but has been able to bench players who are winning Champions League titles, Real Madrid, it's a good promotion for the Saudi Pro League. And that's why players might, and Ronaldo said it himself, that he thinks the Saudi Pro League is a bigger league than League One. Probably would say, he just didn't want to say it, but probably would say it's bigger than the Bundesliga. It's more competitive than this league. So there is a bit of positivity that we can see about the Pro League in years to come. And that is why you cannot completely say that if a Saudi Pro League club has the money, they still can't move a player from Man United. Well, I think gone are the days. We should think twice about it. It is possible if they come with the right offer, they can check the player, they can move the player and lure him to go and join them because clearly, look at Kante. He's consistently been man of the match in I think all the games he has played for France. So how can you say that the Saudi Pro League levels are bad when he's benching the Shumenis, the Kamavingas, and name them? So it shows you that there is a bit of a good PR about this league that can convince players to go and try it out. If it doesn't work, they move out. So we also know that Man United is contemplating going back with bid number 2 to Paris Saint-Germain to try and get Manuel Ugarte, who Luis Enrique does not really fancy that much, considering just how little I think he has been playing, but also the fact that they just signed him, I think the last summer, but they're still willing to let go of him, but for the right fee. So they turned down the first bid from Man United. It was a verbal one. United are believed to be contemplating going back, but there are also reports saying now that PSG have resurrected their interest in Marcus Rashford, and perhaps United could make use of Rashford to try and convince PSG to give Manchester United Ugarte. Now, of course, there are good relationships within Man United and PSG. I think the talks are good. Also, the fact that one of our board members that is who is now acting CEO, that is Jean-Claude Blo, was chief at Paris Saint-Germain. He's a respectable guy, a respected guy in France and everywhere and in Europe. So there are ways these moves could be made. So Man United could put Marcus Rashford in the deal, including in the deal to try and sign Ugarte. Do I think Rashford should leave now? Well, I said if the deal is right, there is no way I can come here and say I will put my hand on Marcus Rashford, on him leaving or not. I think for me, he has clearly, let himself down. Well, he might be fighting now to try and save his career, but maybe to save it for him to be good enough to another club and restart life. He's at his prime. And I mean, with what we are trying to rebuild, I think honestly, if Rashford gets a better option, I think that would be the best thing for him as a player to come and come back. But also with Eric Ten Hag staying and the personality of Rashford, which we think he is, I don't think he does want to be dealing with characters like Rashford and the likes. So I think we are at that time where the boss has got to focus on the football and putting things right completely. And players who have shown elements of bad manners and bad elements in them and bad characters in them, I think are players we can let go of now. So this Rashford and PSG, whereas before I thought Rashford is an 80 million, say 100 million pounds player, I think honestly now it's illogical to think that any club would be willing to pay 100 million or 80 million pounds for Rashford. So if we need Ugarte and is the player we've zeroed down on to replace Casemiro, and we can use Rashford to try and get him, I think it's a win-win for Man United. We're getting what you want. PSG are getting their winger because they need a replacement for Mbappe, and in Rashford they have seen that player. So for me, I think it would be good business because the reality is the bigger portion of Man United supporters would want to see Rashford restart his career elsewhere and hope that it all goes well for him. So I have no doubts about it. But whether this is really going to happen. I mean, I'm low-key skeptical. I don't think it might happen, but these are reports beginning to emerge that PSG are contemplating again speaking to Man United because they are talking. They spoke about several players, by the way. When they were speaking about Ugarte, when Man United made that verbal offer, that was turned down by PSG. They spoke about several other players between the two parties. So even Javi Simons, by the way, is a PSG player, and he confirmed he will be leaving PSG. He could be included in the conversation in a swap deal, involving Rashford as well. I think that again would make sense. In fact, if it could give them some cash and they give us Ugarte and Javi Simons, I think it would be good business for Manchester United if you think about it, because we do need an attacker, a winger. Simons is mostly a winger, good one, a beautiful player. Then Ugarte in the middle. These are two problems solved with one player and a bit of cash. I think for me, there can be some business involving Rashford and PSG and a few players from the other side, from France, to come and join the north of Manchester of the UK in Manchester. Anyhow, that's what I just wanted to brief you about. Of course, go down in the comment section and let me know whether you think, how much do you think we should be willing to take to let go of Alejandro Garnacho, or is he completely untouchable in your view? But also, Marcus Rashford and PSG, would it be a good swap if they gave us David Simons or Ugarte and we gave them some little bit of cash and they took Rashford? Would it be good business for Man United? Drop down in the comment section and give me your 2 cents about it. I'll catch you later, fam.